everybody. My name is Tim. Hopefully you can hear us better this time. It's raining louder. I am going to try and talk louder. My day started off pretty bad. This is a podcast, of course, but it also consists of me and Greg talking like we usually do, which could be about our days or work or whatever strikes our fancy. So if that's not your type of podcast, I'm sorry, and hopefully some of our other videos, like the Kaylee videos, will make your day better. And if you gotta go, have a nice day. This is my fellow podcaster, Greg. Welcome, Greg.
Thank you. Glad to be here on this wonderful Saturday morning.
I hope that was fucking sarcasm.
Yeah, it was. Actually, being here in Chicago, weather is kind of gloomy, cloudy, a little rainy, snowy.
Yeah, I figured. I'm in upstate New York, on Lake Ontario in Oswego, New York, delivering packages for FedEx. It's rainy here. It's hailing. Very cloudy, very gray. It's not a nice day. The news, the reason why I don't trust the news, Greg, is because they always are wrong about the fucking weather. I can't be the only one that's ever had that thought. Like, a lot of them get paid good money to fucking suck at telling the weather.
Right.
I like, at least up here, they suck. They said it, like, a couple days ago, it was supposed to be a good 2 weeks of weather, like sunny, but here it's fucking rainy. It's just pure shit, honestly. I feel bad for the old people getting off the bus, because I'm at like a duplex, a super duplex of a bunch of apartments. I hope they're okay, I really do. Some of them might get sick, but that just is what it is, Greg.
Yeah, I agree.
What do you plan on doing today, Greg?
I don't know what I got planned doing today. Usually on the weekends, I just take it easy and do a little cleaning around the house. Just kind of run errands if need be. I just kind of take it easy.
Gotcha. I hope today is gonna be a decent day. I wasn't able to use my regular truck. We had one of the guys bitching about the seat he's using. So for some reason, they always choose me, but they're like, "Oh, you can use Tim's truck, and he'll just use yours." It's like, dude, really? What the fuck?
Yeah.
But I didn't really have a choice. They're like, "Hey, Tim, sorry, but we're gonna fix his tomorrow, and you'll get your truck back." And it's like, well, he left me with zero gas, and it makes me wonder, is he gonna leave me with any gas for Monday? I'm gonna assume he's not. So I'm not really looking forward to Monday. This job is just one of those jobs where you can only do so much before you want to quit,
Right.
This job reminds me of that security job you had where you were always bitching how they treated you like shit.
Yeah, I remember every time you talk about this job, that's exactly where I think about is my old one.
I figured, cause
it's almost identical.
Yeah, I'm surprised you never went back to the security field. Well, I think you were just finally done. Maybe I gave you the push. You just wanted to try different fields.
I don't mind going back. There's certain ones I would not go to, and there's certain ones I don't mind going to. It's just, it all depends on the situation. So it's still kind of in me. there's something that I just like to go and do it something different.
Well, yeah, that's why you did the management.
Right.
Uh, today's gonna be a long day. If nothing else, that is what it's gonna be. That I'll tell you that much right now. Because I've only done like 24 so far, and I got 87.
Okay.
The only good thing is I don't have any pickups because it's the weekend.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
If I did, I don't know. I probably wouldn't have gone out today, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Probably wouldn't have gone out.
Yeah, take an extra day if you need to.
I might, man. This day, this job is just ruining like my mental health, I guess. I know that sounds stupid, but there's just so much frustration and anger here. I see so many people in their 60s working here. Like, a lot of people die at this place. A lot of people never leave. And I don't want to be one of those people, Greg. Like, it's not worth getting a new truck. It's not worth getting a place up here if I have to stay there the rest of my life, you know?
Right.
Where the fuck is 45? I passed it. Just one of those days, Greg. I'm not even going fast. I'm just fucking going slow. When you've been fucked over so many times, you're like, whatever. You just get done.
Oh, I know. I know.
That's just how I've been feeling the last few days, you know? Just like, I haven't been giving a fuck. And I like giving a fuck, so, like, not only can I keep my job, but, like, I like pleasing my customers, you know? No homo or, you know, no sexual innuendo, but I like making them happy. I like giving them their packages. I want them to be satisfied, so they'll keep ordering, you know? Well, sometimes it's very hard to just want to keep doing this job or seeing the same people, you know?
Yeah, I totally agree with you.
You know, Greg, one of the downsides of this job is it's always the same thing. Nothing ever changes. It's the same thing the next day. It's the same place. It's the same people.
Right.
To me, it just never feels like anything's accomplished. I feel like I'm doing the same thing. And the trucks get worse. The loads get heavier. You don't get an increase, but they want you to do more each year. There is no union. There is no benefits. They won't pay for any injury or damage to your body. I've gotten lucky. A lot of drivers have gotten lucky. It's a sad state of affairs in the delivery world. You know, one of the reasons why I never picked up Amazon, one of the reasons why I never picked up Amazon is because I was never able to do the same route every day. They wanted me to do a different route in a different city every day. And I just didn't want to do that, man.
Yeah.
It would have been in like Homer and Cortland and just places I don't really want to be, places where there's crime. I like where I'm at now because at least it doesn't have crime. It doesn't have, I don't have to worry about it. There's always cops around and it's mostly middle class, you know, no hoods or gangsters or retards. It's just the repetitiveness and never having any help and just them always relying on you, but no pay increase for taking other people's shit. It just gets annoying, man.
Oh, I know.
And not only that, but the packing and the package handlers have gotten worse too. I just can't do that either. Like, gonna stay until me and you do our December 1st plan. And in case anybody's wondering what I'm talking about, me and Greg have decided to finally leave New York, and me and Greg have finally decided to leave New York and Illinois and the North in general. It's not worth it. The places are getting worse, not better. It's sucking. So what we're gonna do is any debt we have, we're gonna pay off. We're gonna move by December 1st or like January something at the latest, in case like it takes more time. And we're gonna either move to Tennessee, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, or Florida. And we're gonna get a trailer first, be there for like a year or two, and then get a house and just enjoy life. And hopefully get a job in the criminal justice fields that we want. Like, that's what I hope we can do. That's the plan. And that way we can be able to protect ourselves. We can get guns. We can just relax more. The weather will be better. Just a lot of shit that we don't have up here.
Yeah.
I mean, what's your take on that, Greg?
No, I agree. I totally agree. I'm looking forward to it. It'd be a different change, but yeah, I'm excited.
Me too. For anybody that's looking for a good YouTube series to watch where it's like a thriller and you want your mind blown, I would recommend the Chris Benoit Files by Purple Sky 11. She also does Owen Hart revival case where she looks at the facts to see if the right decision was made, just like with the Chris Benoit Files. It's not to see if he's innocent or guilty, but just to relook at the facts to see if it needs to be reinvestigated. And her ultimate decision was that she thinks that it was poorly investigated. They didn't do a good job, and there's a lot missing or a lot that they didn't bring up or just didn't even pay attention to. So again, Purple Sky 11, no spaces, capital P, Chris Benoit Files. You won't be disappointed. It's 30. There's like over 30 parts to it. Like you guys would love it, I swear. And the Owen Hart, there's 3 parts to that. I mean, I was really there for the Chris Benoit series because he was my favorite wrestler growing up. He was a Canadian wrestler born May 21st, 1967. Died 2007, June 24th. He hung himself, and over a 3-day period, he strangled his wife and killed his son, and then, of course, hung himself. He left messages and texts to people, but there's conspiracy theories, and there's a lot that we don't know about the case in general. So I would highly recommend anybody that wants to watch the case, I would highly recommend that they do. That they watch it, that they do their own research, their own due diligence, that they just do their own research and come to their own conclusions. But I think she did a really good job. You can Cash App her, she'll do new video ideas. She's taking a little break because, a lot of those videos are over 30 minutes, and that's a lot of details to do. Especially when you have kids and you gotta take care of life. Trust me, I get it. So, she does better than me and Greg ever have the time to do. So I highly recommend it. I don't know if Greg's checked it out, but, have you ever checked it out? I think I told you about it.
Yeah, you did tell me about it. No, I have not checked it out, and that's something. Actually, I'll do that this weekend.
Do you have any YouTubers you want to recommend, or that you found that we don't know about, or our community doesn't know about, that maybe you want to mention? Anything, Greg?
I am not on the top of my head right this moment. I don't.
Well, I have other YouTubers. If you want to watch a YouTuber who is is beautiful or attractive to a lot of guys, uh, she's traditionally beautiful. She's a liberal, or she says that she is, but to me, she acts more like a conservative, just without saying it. It's Shoe on Head. Very beautiful, very funny. I've been following her for God the last 7 years. Yeah, like pretty much the last 5 to 7 years. And then me and Greg don't watch him anymore. But if you want to listen to some good military stories, Terrence Pop is your guy. Greg knows who that is. He's a right wing former military YouTuber who does podcasts, and he does Live at the Lair, where he does various topics when it comes to feminism and it comes to left wing politics and politicians in the war in Ukraine. He was in the military for 33 years. He was a Green Beret and he was a paratrooper. And he's my favorite right wing account, I guess. But I don't really do politics anymore. So, like, that's why I stay, just in case you want to watch his channel, you can. I just don't do it anymore. It's not really my thing anymore. But I did love his military stories. I just seen them too many times. In case you're into in case you're into Red Pill or MGTOW, he also does that where he gives you dating advice, tells you how the dating market and the value, how it really is, and not in the blue pill propaganda that they try to sell you. He's a good dude. He's seen it all, experienced it all. I have high respect for him. He reminds me of my father in a lot of ways. Really good guy. So, that's just my take on Terrence Pop. Haley Elise, I got her videos on the channel. That's another one I would have recommended, if she stayed on YouTube, but since they're on the channel, hey, check them out, watch, see if you like them, see if they're for you. And you might be surprised. Has there been anything on YouTube that you've started watching, Greg, that you would recommend?
I pretty much just go on YouTube right now and just find things on things that are happening in this world. Not really particular YouTubers, but just like things in general, like the news or documentaries and stuff like that, that the networks out there have their own YouTube channels, and that's pretty much what I've done. I haven't really, like I said, got involved with YouTubers personally yet or anything. Just anything general I'll find.
Well, if you want to talk about documentaries, there's a couple, and we may have mentioned this in previous talks that we've had, but I always like to re-bring it up. But there's two documentaries that I always recommend, no matter how old I get or what we're talking about, That is Dear Zachary. If you remember me talking about that.
Yeah, I do.
Dear Zachary and the Ken Burns Civil War documentary.
Okay.
I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah, I do. Actually, I came across his.
But the Dear Zachary, just in case you need a reminder, it's over an hour long. It's 2 hours long, actually. It's about this doctor from, California that actually studied in Syracuse.
Okay.
He actually worked in Syracuse, just to let you know. He grew up with a filmmaker. His best friend is the one that made the film, so he is a filmmaker, technically. He hooked up with this girl, and she turned crazy. He wanted to do better, and he could do better because, again, he was a doctor. So he broke up with her, made sure she went home 16 hours away in Newfoundland, Canada. And what she did was she lured him to a park by himself because he was naive. You know, he was nice.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't think she would do anything. She wanted to come from the breakup. But you know why I call him naive?
Why?
Who drives 16 hours away to go back to see their ex when they just flew that amount of time the previous day? He drove all night, 16 hours.
Wow.
You cannot tell me that's not fucking crazy.
No, that is crazy.
And like before they broke up, he went to a wedding and she would always call and get jealous and possessive. And and she would always hang on him and he got embarrassed. You know, he said she was a child. Acts like a child. Like he was just embarrassed and he wanted to do better and he could. And it took, unfortunately, he just never got to see that through. He was shot. She shot him 6 times. And then she fled to Canada and pretty much got away with it. And, a year later, she gave birth to, 9 months later, she gave birth to his son. A year after that, she committed suicide because she was crazy and she didn't want Andrew's parents, that's his name, Andrew Bagley. She didn't want his parents to have custody. In Canada, if this happened in the United States, she would have been in prison.
Yeah.
But Canada, they were very nice. They said she wasn't a threat to society. And everybody I've talked to about the film, or I've read a lot of reviews too, they said, what a shame. Like, it was disgusting. And his parents became best-selling authors because they wrote a book about it. And not only that, they got the laws to change in Canada.
Okay.
In Parliament. And you know what, Greg? I think that's amazing. So some good came out of it. And, let's go back to the Civil War documentary. That's a 5 or 6 part series about the Civil War. It's actually my favorite documentary just because everything he says in it and, was able to find out. It was just my favorite. It's very hard to actually discuss it because you just have to see it. He got the voices that sounds like the actual people. Like the documentary itself is well presented. He got some famous authors in there talking about it, especially Henry Footworth, who's my favorite Civil War writer. It's just very well done. Any documentaries you can think of, Greg?
Well, I find a lot of I don't remember, like I said, who they are out there, but I find things like the Civil War, Revolutionary War. I like the history, and even since I'm kind of into the disaster situations. I will watch things like from 9/11 to hurricanes and stuff out there. That's pretty much what I like doing. And even just basic history.
What the fuck, Greg? I mean, yeah. I've watched some videos on like the worst hurricanes and the worst tropical storms and the worst tornadoes and just the worst rock slides. One of my favorite videos to watch back in the day was the most dangerous extinct animals or cats or like dinosaurs, like that are terrifying, like the saber-toothed tiger or the American lion. Like, they're just really cool.
Yeah.
And if you guys ever wondered what the ancient tiger looked like, it's very muscular. Like, it's super badass. You guys should look it up. Or like how big the ancient cheetah was. Just a lot of good shit. Unfortunately, Greg, when it comes to YouTube, I don't really like the updates that they do because shorts are becoming more and more popular, especially with TikTok. and it's becoming like algorithm. Like pretty girls gotta like do skimpy shit, and they get a lot of views and attention. It's very hard to get fans nowadays. Like just doing normal videos compared to like say 2010 or 11.
Yeah, I've noticed that too, of how the videos themselves have changed. I remember when YouTube came out, people just did their own thing, and it wasn't
And
really a popularity or
now it's all
anything.
tracks. Now it's the most popular stupid shit like Minecraft or
Yeah,
fucking Fortnite. Like, what happened to the originality on YouTube? It's not there. Like, they gotta talk about stupid shit to remain popular. They gotta
yeah,
bow down to their fans. I just could never do it. I'd say fuck off.
yeah. And that has been the change through the years. I've noticed that big time, and I miss the old YouTube the way it was, and even the
Oh
stuff
yeah.
that how you recorded things, and now there's restrictions on that. It's funny they'll restrict that, but then they won't restrict the material that you put on.
Yeah. Yeah. They won't. Like I've seen naked girls on there, like painting their bodies with paint, but they're naked. But they'll delete the guy that's making sense about left wing politics. Make it make sense, but you can't. You know.
Yeah.
Do you remember back in the day? Like I joined YouTube in 2006. I remember prior to 2012, you were able to friend people on there. You were able to do a lot more than you can now.
Yes.
And do you remember they used to let you edit your videos and put videos together?
Yeah, I remember that.
Greg, it was so much easier and better back in the day, but now they'll flag you for anything, and they're stupid community guideline checks. I just can't. It's stupid. Like, I used to be able, like, people used to have more freedom.
Yeah.
And, it's just getting harder and harder for smaller content makers to actually make it, unless you're insanely talented, know the right people, get a shout out, or you're just a hot piece of ass. Because, Greg, literally, I see it every day. Like, I've seen dudes get big on YouTube just from having a hot girlfriend and always clickbaiting.
Yeah, I've noticed that too.
I mean, I've also seen serial killers like that were caught later have YouTube channels, and before the channel was deleted, their channel would get big. It was the most fucked up thing ever. Like Elliot Rodger, the Isla Vista killer, or the king of the incels, as they call him. His channel got big after he did what he did.
Wow.
I mean, it's not funny, but you're like, wow, that's just fucked up. It's funny in a way.
Yeah.
It's not funny, but it is too. You know what's sad?
What's that?
I remember actually watching a video by one of the victims, like one of the girls that he killed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Her father, who of course was angry, but he was also like a really nice guy, you could tell. Because he didn't just say, oh, fuck Elliot, like, I hope he burns in hell. You know what he said?
What's that?
He said this young man obviously had problems, and the ironic part is that if my daughter would have known him or saw the trouble he was in, she would have befriended him. You know, that's the type of person she is. She would have befriended him.
Wow.
But you got to remember, Elliot would have took it the wrong way. He has Asperger's, and he was a narcissist. So he would have thought that like she was hitting on him. Like he wouldn't be able to tell the difference.
Right.
Because he was a narcissist. Like that's why he never had a girlfriend and he was still a virgin. You want to know why?
Why?
Because not only did he try to get the hottest girls of society, like he never lowered his standards like everybody else, he wanted them to hit on him first, and that's very rare. He was a racist, right? He hated blacks, he hated Asians. He was a racist. He wanted others to hit on him. He hated seeing whites with blacks. Like, he was a racist. He was a scumbag. I understand his loneliness but I couldn't understand his need to hurt other people. I couldn't understand it. Like, how is it anybody else's fault why you're going through what you're through?
Right.
You can't hurt other people. You can't shoot up a school. You can't rape. You can't stab. You can't choke. Like, you can't beat somebody else unless they're actually directly responsible. I understand your bitterness. I understand your anger. But you use it in the wrong way. And Greg, unfortunately, nothing can be done about these people. They're not right in the head like you and I are. Me and you could get therapy. Me and you could go to the gym or just laugh about it. And we can just do something else, like playing video games or write something. Move on with our lives.
Right.
Like that. They can't let it go, Greg.
Yeah.
They can't let it go. They think they're better than they are, or some kind of special messiah, and they just, pop, 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 pop. They want to become famous, but they'll just be as forgotten as a lot of other. Listen, the only reason why they still talk about Columbine is because it was the first of its time.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the only reason why Dylan Klebold and Eric Harris are still famous or infamous. You know what's funny though? Well, ironic is, remember they made pipe bombs too. Nobody really talks about that, but they never went off, Greg. If those pipe bombs would have went off, it would have exploded the whole fucking school.
Right.
In fact, Greg, that was the original plan. The original plan was to do pipe bombs in the cafeteria. They left their bags, and they went outside. And when they never went off, that's why they went inside the school. Their original plan was to have them go off, and as people are running outside, they would pick them off one by one.
Mm-hmm.
The one that affected me the most out of the deaths was Rachel. I forgot her last name, but she was a devout Christian. She was very devout, very religious, and she was very kind. She would do challenges every day to be nice to people and help them out.
Yeah.
And the sad thing is her brother, he had a fight with her that morning, and he said he hated her, and he never got to apologize. I'm pretty sure she knew he did it, but, your mind does strange things and you have regret. A lot of regret, Greg.
Right.
I have regret too. It just is what it is.
Yeah.
Not regret like that, Jesus Christ, but, they played God, Greg. They let some people live. Because you don't find it weird they had all these guns and bombs and they only killed 13 people?
I know. I thought it would be more.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's because they played God, Greg. You want to know what I mean by that? They let some people live and they let other people die. Because they could.
Mm-hmm.
There was this one person, I think the last name was Brown. It was a guy. He came up to them and they're like, hey, leave the school. If you stay, you're not going to like what you see. Leave the school. We like you. We don't want you to see it. And he left the school, and, he saw the guns. They let him live. But other people said it's not because he was nice to them, and he was a mutual friend. But others have said that it was probably just so they can feel like God.
Right.
Did you ever see their videos that they did, like those homemade videos?
The only time I saw that was when they were just putting it on the news, just the clips.
Well, there was this video where Dylan Klebold was screaming into the camera. He's like, "You better not touch that fucking kid, or I'll blow your fucking head off," or something like that. It's like, I don't know, man. I've heard mixed reviews about how their life actually was.
Mm-hmm.
From what I heard, Eric Harris was always a troublemaker. He was always had anger issues, and he was always a psychopath.
Yeah.
But people said people said that he wasn't a loser or like loner like people like he made himself out to be. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And people also said that Dylan Klebold, the taller one, just in case you're wondering who I was talking about, the taller one, they said that he wasn't a bad person at the time. You know, what he did made him a bad person, obviously. But
Yeah.
they said he wasn't always like that. He was a depressed kid that, was just kind of picked on and just didn't have a place, You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then when he started hanging out with Eric, his personality started to change and he became a scumbag. He became a piece of shit. He started stealing. He started committing crimes.
Yeah.
And his mother wants people to know that although her son is a monster now, he wasn't always that way. He wasn't born that way. He became that. And it wasn't totally his fault, is what she's saying.
Right.
And I don't know, Greg. I don't know if I can buy that. Because even if someone is depressed and they want to die, or even if they are lonely or whatever she's trying to say for him, he went out a monster. Greg, I'd rather die a good man than live as a monster.
Yeah, I agree.
There's nothing that she can say that will ever make up for what her son did. And Greg, the fact that she goes out in public and says the shit that she does, like, she doesn't advocate for him, of course, I'm not saying that, but it sounds like she's making excuses.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when she tries to, give reasons as to why what could have happened did, it just sounds like she's making excuses. And I don't like that.
Right.
Greg, my point is that he was always a monster deep down if he did what he did. Is that true for everybody that has, what happens, you're bullied? People do snap like Chris Benoit did. He wasn't, remember, the thing I can say about Chris Benoit, Greg, is he had a lot of concussions. He had the brain of an 85-year-old Alzheimer's patient, 85-year-old Alzheimer's patient. Mm-hmm. It was mush. So, he probably did snap or, became a different person. He wasn't who people used to know him as. Everybody said he was nice. He wasn't born a monster.
Right.
That's what I'm trying to say. Not everybody. Some people do become monsters, right? That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
But Dylan, what's his excuse, Ooh, you got picked on. Come on, man. It just doesn't work. Guess nobody's home. Oh well.
Yeah.
Right. Oh well. I tried. So I wrote a poem this morning.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. I actually like it. I really do.
Oh, that's good.
I think so too, Greg. I think so too. I think so too.
Is it a short one or a little long one?
talking about?
The poem.
We'll see. We will see. We'll see how it turns out. That's the best I can give you.
Oh, okay, cool.
I have to be salty, Greg. I think it's good. It laminates how life has gone so far and what life can still be.
Okay.
But it reminds me, there's good sides to it, Greg, and there's downsides. The good side is it's like my old style, and that's the bad side too, because it looks like a poem from my first book, you know?
Yeah.
Where I laminated life in high school and college, like when I was younger. But, you know, sometimes you gotta go back to your roots. Sometimes you just gotta go back and explore and see how much you changed or if you still gotta change fast, you know?
Right.
Listen, dude, it just is what it is. It just is what it is, Greg.
Yeah, that is true. That is true.
Yeah, it's true for your mom, too. I'm sad. You know, me and Greg usually do yo mama jokes, so I try not to do it and be more professional in the screen, but, you know, since it's just kind of one of our normal conversations where we can talk for hours, it slips up from time to time. Yeah, you know, we can slip up from time to time. I've done 32 so far, Greg. 32 out of 87.
Okay.
Ah, you know, these President AI beams, they make time go by faster. They really do. Like when I listen to them, you know,
Yeah.
they really make time go by faster, and they really make the day easier. Ah. Well, dude, this rain needs to go away. Like, the one day I decided to wear shorts, huh?
Oh, you wear shorts?
Yeah, wear shorts. It's fucking windy and it's rainy. It's like, fuck, I made a mistake. Ugh. Ugh. Definitely made a mistake today. Tell you that much. You know, a band that's underrated but still kind of juicy is Nickelback. They're underrated, man.
Oh, I know.
Well, still kind of juicy, not gonna lie. Like, just their songs. Like, She Keeps Me Up. A very good song. I love that song. But, you know, you think it's one thing and then it turns out to be another.
Right.
You know, like, a lot of his songs are kind of disparaging towards women. Like, they're always very sexual in nature, I suppose. But I mean, that song in general, you think it's about a girl that likes to always have, you know, sex and just always have an adventure, you know?
Yeah.
Turns out it's about cocaine, so you're like, oh, okay, like, that's different than what I thought it would be. I hate Walmart boxes, I really do. You know, Greg?
Yeah.
That's right, Greg.
I know.
Alright, now I've done 33 so far, just before 12. just can't wait to get my truck back. I don't even know what I'm going to do tomorrow. Sundays are just kind of like always one of those days where it's like, what the fuck do I even do?
Yeah, I got to remember that you're off on Sundays now.
I don't remember. I'm not even going to say. But I would recommend you, if you haven't watched it, to either watch or rewatch the Dear Zachary.
Okay.
Because I thought you said you started watching it. I'm not sure if you finished.
No, I didn't finish it. I started watching it. I like to go back and I'll restart it again.
Did you ever read the 11th chapter of that Elf story I sent you?
Yeah, I did.
What'd you think?
I liked it.
Definitely different than what you probably usually read.
Yeah. It was different, but I actually didn't mind reading it.
Wait, did you reread it or did just that chapter?
Just that chapter.
Got you. Marley Beach. The truck is going to chip, but hopefully I'll be able to get over it.
Yeah.
Hello. Got one for Marlene? $18. Yeah. Oh, thank you. Okay, Greg. You know, Greg.
Yeah.
I hope this video turns out to be better. I don't think the conversation will be as deep because it seems like we're just mostly joking around at this part compared to usual. But, I was just disappointed because yesterday is where it all came together. Yesterday it clicked. We just had such a good conversation.
Right.
And I was just disappointed that today yesterday was perfect. If yesterday, to be honest with you, if yesterday worked and there was no issues, we wouldn't even be making this video right now.
Yeah, and I apologize.
It's all good, Greg. It's all good. You don't have to apologize. I'd rather hear a thank you than 1,000 apologies.
Yeah, that's true. Sometimes, you just don't have control of technical glitches.
Yeah, but we could have prevented it if we just did this yesterday.
Yeah, but, sometimes it just takes a couple of tries, and once you get it, then you'll get it right.
Well, yeah, it also depends on what kind of equipment you have and what kind of computer and
yeah,
how the setup is. I always say that not to like rub it into you, but I always say that because when I had my MacBook, remember I got it on the first try with Brandon.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it was because of the equipment I had, or because I held the phone up the whole time. Like it was in my hand the whole time. Like I never set the phone down. So I'm not really sure, but we're fixing it now, and you said you'll try to edit it later. So we'll see how it goes. I of course don't want to make the episode as long as it was yesterday. Mainly because we started this with my phone was at 12%. It's just in my pocket, so we'll do it for a little longer, and we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Well, I also have another computer too. I have a couple computers, and each one's different. So you got like the speaker on the keyboard, and this one's got a speaker on the keyboard and on the screen, and it's crazy.
Yeah, I mean,
And you forget which computer's got what, and yeah, it's a whole different setup. And
just is what it is, bro.
yeah, we'll get it.
That's just what I like to think about it as. It just is what it is. Whatever happens in life is just gonna fucking happen, you know? Just is what it is. And Greg, maybe if I did like the job like I used to, maybe I would get the job and just make a few truck payments here and then, save here and there. Just, you know, it's just, I fell out of love with the job. And as much as you only live one life and you want a nice truck, it's just not the time for me.
Yeah.
Which is ironic because my dad's like, oh, but Tim, when you're young, that is the time you want to do it. You can worry about love later on. You should do it now. And I'm like, yeah, but I just don't need it. It's not that I don't want it, but when you don't need it, it hits differently.
Right.
For me, it hits differently because, listen, I don't know, if I didn't want it, like, if I agreed with him, we wouldn't even be having this discussion. It would already be in my hands,
Right.
But at the same time, there's just nothing I need it for. That's the main point. There's nothing I need it for. Listen, maybe if me and you had our own business and I needed it and we were contractors or we did a lot of like physical labor, maybe,
Right.
So that way, like, we can drive around, and that's what the truck is for. But we'll have to wait until, like, we get our own place. Then maybe we'll see what happens. But until then, that's just going to be what it is.
Yeah.
This food truck is nice. I don't know why he took it off the road. It's a shame. It's like a 2,500 Bighorn truck.
Oh wow.
Hemi 5.4 liter. Firestone tires. Not a thing of rust around it. I ain't gonna lie, it's fucking beautiful. I wonder why he took it off the road. Has a back rack, just beautiful. It's a shame.
Yeah.
If it was my truck, it'd be on the road 24/7. But it's just whatever. I also kind of want to prove my dad wrong that like I kind of take this place, and not that he ever said I couldn't, but I want to surprise him. I want to be like, look at what I did. What if we get out before he does? He'll be the last one to get out, Greg.
Yeah.
The sad thing is that my brother Brandon is no longer leaving New York. He wants to stay because of that whore, Greg, the one I told you about.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So he did.
The one that couldn't get him beat up,
Right.
I don't want to go too much into details because it's not my business, but I just think he could do a lot better, and my dad caught him giving her money. And Brandon's situation.
Yeah.
They're like, what the fuck, dude? Like, what are you doing? Like, my dad was just losing his mind on him, and he's like, Dad, listen, it's none of your business. I gave you the money that I owe you each month, like, lay off. It's none of your business. And Dad's like, you know what? You're right. But I still think you're making a mistake. And as your father, I got to tell you that. And I'm like, I think that's fair enough.
Oh, most definitely. There's nothing wrong with that.
I mean, hey, that's fair enough. I'd want to be told that too. But Greg, just in case I do get his truck, we're still going.
Yeah.
Just start in the back of the truck, grab your Jeep, and let's go. You know, that's what I would tell you, Greg. It's like, okay, pack all your shit, let's throw it in the back of the big truck, and
They go down the road.
yeah, listen, if we have to, I don't know what I would do in my small truck if I did buy his truck. I could either give it to my dad or we could keep it as a backup vehicle, but we don't really need more than 2 or 3 vehicles.
I was just wondering that too. What would you do with that one?
We could use it as a backup. Like, I could keep it at my dad's, or I can fucking use it to, one of us can use it when we need it. Like, if one of our vehicles goes down or something, you know?
Yeah.
Like, we could just use it for, we could just keep it in the yard. Like, one of those old trucks that is still in good condition, that we take care of, that we just don't drive that much, and we'll just use it as a backup. Like, if one of our main vehicles gets, like, a flat or something.
Yeah, that's a thought. Because people sometimes they'll do that. They'll have an extra vehicle.
Like, people have that idea, and I'm like, you know what? That's not a bad fucking idea.
Yeah.
But I would probably just give it to my dad so that way he can pay off the loan, and I don't have to. You know?
Yeah.
But again, if I'm gonna pay $30,000, it's like I kind of don't want another truck. I kind of just want, I would kind of just want Greg to get my dream car, the 1969 Judge GTO. You know?
Right.
But to be honest with you, that's what I would do, Greg. That's what I would do.
That's a good idea. I'll keep that in mind.
True. You know, Greg, you make me nervous.
Make you nervous?
You make the ward very nervous. No, I'm kidding. I got that from the Adam Sandler movie. Remember? He's like, you make the Lord very nervous.
Yeah.
And then he smacks Ray into the telephone pole.
Yep. Well, sometimes I'll even say that to myself. I make myself
Little
nervous.
Nicky, by Adam Sandler. It's a funny movie, man.
Right.
One of the best I've seen so far. But Adam Sandler, I can't really watch his Netflix movies. Most of them I can't stand. Like, what happened to him as a mainstream actor? I get it gets him a lot of money, and it probably does. Good for him, but I just can't watch his movies anymore. Because most of them are fucking terrible, Greg.
And I think as some of these actors get older, they change their ways of acting and their audience. And
yeah, but you can't tell me that the ones that stick with it or refuse to go that route, I can respect them more. Like, could you ever see Leonardo DiCaprio doing that shit?
No, I think that would really ruin him.
Oh, you ain't fucking kidding, Greg. Imagine him doing Titanic 2. You're like, I'm not really dead. I just got her pregnant and, I wanted to leave, I have a girl in New York already. He'd be like, what the fuck? But the only 2 FedEx movies that Adam Sandler was in that I liked was that basketball movie where he was an agent.
Yeah, and I can't think of the name of that one.
Where he did the do-over.
Yeah.
With the one that used to be friends with Chris Farley.
Oh, Spade.
Yeah, David Spade.
David Spade.
Yeah, it's weird that he made all their fucking careers. Not Chris, but Adam made all their careers.
Mm-hmm.
How many movies has he brought the guys in? his crew. Think about it. Every movie they're in one. Fucking the two stoners from Little Nicky, the rocker.
Oh, okay.
Those guys, they're in
Yeah.
every fucking movie.
Oh, I know.
And well, you know his gang. Like usually he has some of the same actors in every fucking movie. You know, if there is one movie that I would want to see a sequel to, or a book I'd want to see a sequel to someday, it'd be Bridge to Terabithia, where Leslie actually survived. You know, that's still one of the saddest to me in that in the fictional universe. You know, just like with Mufasa and other characters like that. I don't think it had to go that way for it to be a good book, but I see why they did it. It makes it such a classic. It's
Right.
why they won the awards that they did. It's why they got what they did. Like Greg, the writer of Bridge to Terabithia is over 80 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, she's from China. I bet you didn't know that.
No, I didn't.
I bet you probably pictured a white woman, didn't you?
Yeah.
I know. I was shocked too. I shit you not. Look, you can look it up right now. Well, actually, just wait until afterwards.
Yeah, I was gonna say, wait.
But it's like fucking odd. You're like, shit. I was shocked. It's like, wow. And you know, when I looked it up years ago, she was 79. So she's not dead. I would have heard some. Nobody's ever said anything about it. So she's not dead. And you know, the backstory behind it, Greg, in the early 70s, her son, her son had a friend that was like 6 years old in the Atlantic Ocean, right?
Right.
So she was born in China, but she immigrated to the United States. Which is why you're wondering, okay, Tim, why is it an English book instead of a Chinese one? It's because she married an American man and she's American now.
Right.
But she was born in China. Is what I'm saying. Does that make more sense?
Yeah, it does.
And his friend was 6 years old, Greg. And she got struck by lightning during a thunderstorm and she drowned. It makes me wonder, though, why the fuck did her parents let a 6-year-old go swimming in the Atlantic Ocean alone during a thunderstorm? They called it a tragic accident, but that doesn't strike you as odd?
Yeah, it does. It does.
But yeah, it was his best friend, and you know what? She wrote Bridge to Terabithia to console him. And you know what? I thought she did a good job. And you know what she admitted?
What was that?
She said it was hard for her to kill Leslie. It was very hard. I agree, Greg. I think it is hard.
Yeah.
But again, you know, that just is what it is. You know, a part of me wants to visit my high school at some point. I want to still give those teachers that believed in me, I still want to give them some of my work. I still want to give them some of my writings, you know? I want to see the reaction, you know what I'm saying, Greg?
Oh, most definitely. You want to see and be like, oh, wow, this is, you know, your accomplishments. And even I've actually had teachers, you know, come up to me, you know, when I've done things like that. Oh, can I borrow this or can I have a copy of this so I could share it with the class?
Oh, you came out?
No.
I was talking about your classroom, Greg, not your sexuality.
Oh.
I'm just fucking with you. I understand what's talking about. We do not condone bullying of anybody's sexuality, right, Greg?
That's right. I've actually had that. I did a presentation once at a college, and he wanted my copy of it.
I thought you were saying they're going to call you a fag. No, I was geeking. I couldn't help them. I'm like, no way that happened to you. That'd be like super ironic.
Yeah.
Why would anyone do that, guy?
What?
Like, call someone a faggot.
I don't know.
Right, faggot?
That's right.
It's like super mean. But, no, like, in all seriousness, Greg, when I was going through my depression with the whole Abby and cutting situation, Richard Terabithia and the fan fiction around it, like where she survives and just all the stories, they really helped me at the time. They really did.
Mm-hmm.
And I miss people updating that, but people don't. It's an old fan fiction and people don't update it like they used to.
Right.
And you're gonna laugh, but I actually wrote three short stories on that site.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, for Bridge of Terabithia, I actually wrote three short stories that people actually seem to like, and they're like, "Oh, update it," but I just had nothing to update. It just wasn't me, I just wrote what I wrote.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I didn't put spaces. Like, I was super lazy. Like, I was a terrible fan fiction writer because they want apostrophes, they want it well written, and I just didn't care enough to, I just didn't care enough to, right? Unfortunately.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would highly yeah. I feel like I'm missing something. Oh well. Not that I can do nothing.
Huh.
I'll keep moving forward.
Yeah.
Yeah, keep moving forward, Greg. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's not a problem. Well, maybe you'll find it later if you're missing something.
Then I'm not going to do it. Like, I'm not one to go back. I did yesterday just because I wanted to make a point, but usually I don't.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I didn't get done until like 6:10 yesterday. And I also did get Arby's, which took like 20 minutes because they were so packed. Just whatever happens, happens.
Yeah.
In 7th grade, that was a wonderful year too, because I read a few books that helped me out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They are among the hidden. Tangerine and Freak the Muddy. I told you about these stories.
Yeah.
And I think the saddest was Among the Hidden. It was about population control, like population police. People are only allowed to have 2 kids.
Okay.
And some have had more. And if you've had more, those kids would be taken away and killed instantly. No questions asked. And the police wouldn't get in trouble. It was like living in like communist China.
Mm-hmm.
And he meets a bureaucrat's daughter next door, but she never comes out of the house. He's seen her through the window,
Right.
And it turns out she's illegal as well. But since he's in the government, he's able to hide her better. You get it?
Yeah, I got it.
And Luke can never go outside. He's a third child as well. And they become friends. Like, I think he sneaks into her house one time, or he sneaks into his. Like, I forgot how, like, they actually meet, but one of them snuck in and started talking, and, well, you know the rest. They start talking, they become friends. But Luke was fine living the life that he did. It's the only life he's ever known, and he didn't want to die. He was fine. It's whatever,
Right.
Jen, Luke is the boy, and Jen is the girl. Jen is the same age. They were like 13 or 14, and the problem is she's not fine, Greg. She has all the toys she could ever want. She has toys, the computer. Luke is a friend. Like, she has online friends, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you want to know what happens next?
What's that?
She sneaks into Luke's house one last time. She tells him that she's going to do some kind of, like, parade or, like, some kind of protest to change the laws.
Right.
And she wants Luke to come. And he chickens out. He says no. And he chickens out, and she says goodbye, Luke. And, he's like, if I make it, I'll come back for you. If not, then you'll know the rest,
Right.
And, of course, she gets shot in the face. What happened was they stormed the Capitol, kind of like in America, and they all got shot, and it was covered up. So the main populace didn't know. It was covered up, like cleaned up, covered up. And all the bodies were burned. You get it?
Yeah, got it.
And he had a mental breakdown. He broke into her house, and he thought she was still alive,
Right.
Because he thought he saw her, but he was just having hallucinations. And he broke into the house, and that's where he met her father. And he learned how she died and how the father was able to get the body back and bury her because, he was hiding the government.
Right.
And the only reason why he was still alive is because he was hiding the government. He knew people. He could pull connections. But not enough to, save his daughters. I mean, he would have been able to get to her in time anyway.
Yeah.
But he was able to give her a proper, funeral. And he comforts Luke, and he actually offers Luke a chance to fix the system. He offers him a chance to have a new identity and send him to a private school. And he does. And eventually Luke is able to change the system. It takes 5 to 6 different books, sequels, but he's able to do it. And he does it all for her.
Mm-hmm.
And he changes the system, and it's great. But, Greg, I couldn't read after Jen died. Just if a sequel was written and, Leslie actually did die, I couldn't read it. It would just be too much. It just wouldn't be for me,
Yeah.
It could be for others, Greg, but it just couldn't be for me. I would need her alive. Some books, Greg, I can't read the sequel because my main character died and I just can't get over it. It may sound pathetic, but I know I'm not the only one.
No, I'm sure you're not.
That's why people love fan fiction so much, because you can change the outcome. And you know what, Greg? I think some characters don't need to die, but the author does anyways because they'll get more book sales.
Right.
I don't think she needed to die, Greg. To me, she didn't need to die, but that's just my own opinion. I think she could have been used further down the line. What if she was just... what if she was just taken prisoner by the government?
Yeah.
And her father couldn't say anything, and Luke eventually discovers her, and she was saved by underground rebels. You know what I'm saying? There could have been so much, but it was praised for the way it was written too. So I can't say it was badly written. It wasn't. In fact, Greg, it was one of the best books I've ever read.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember the Freak and Mighty series?
Yeah, I didn't read it, but I knew a little bit about it.
Well, I'm pretty sure I've also told you about it.
Yeah, that too.
Well, a long time ago, of course.
Yeah.
But it's about this 13-year-old that's like 7 foot, right?
Mm-hmm.
And his neighbor is this kid that's like paraplegic. You know, won't live long. He has like something wrong with him. And it affects the way you can live and how long you can live. I think it's what Jimmy from South Park has, where he can't, you know what I'm saying, like where he has to use those crutches.
Oh yeah, okay.
But it's like a more deadly form, you know, to where he won't live a long life and it's limited. He at first hates Max. That's the kid's name. The neighbor. He at first hates Max.
Okay.
You know, he's short. He always annoys him. He's a bookworm. And, you know, the main character is like tall, a loner. Nobody really cares for him. His father's in and out of prison. But they become friends. And at the end, you know, Max dies, but he gets all of Max's stuff. It's sweet, but it's sad. Tangerine, that was another sad book. I told you about that, so I'm not going to go into details.
Yeah.
Because if you remember, his brother was a piece of shit and killed one of his friends. And he was on the soccer team.
Yeah.
I mean, if anybody wants to look more into it, it's called Tangerine. It did win a lot of awards. It was a very good book. I highly recommend it. I read it in 7th grade. And that was like 2008, 2009. Like, I highly recommend it. Well, yeah, you know, any other books you want to talk about or discuss or that you have thought of that you forgot that I brought up? Like anything?
No, not really. I haven't. I need to go back and read more again.
No shit.
It's been quite a long time since I've read.
I know that. Well, we should recommend them to fanfiction.net. A lot of your favorite anime, books, comics, games, cartoons, TV shows, WWE, like you can pretty much write about anything, or AO3.net. That's another one. I don't think you've ever been there, Greg, but that's another one.
No.
You can write about your favorite ships, unpopular ships. Like, you can change the story. You can do whatever you want with the characters, pretty much, in any capacity. And you can't get sued. Like, you can't publish it legally, but you can publish it on the site. And, you know, a lot of people do that, and I've been reading since about 2008 or 2009, Greg.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, you know, I've been reading at least since 2009. I really can't remember how I found it, to be honest with you. Mm-hmm. But I've been reading my whole middle school and high school life. At least 2009. I think 2008 is when I did, but 2009 I at least know I did for a fact start reading then.
Okay.
So, about 14 or 15 years, Greg, and so about when I was like 10 or 11, I discovered it, and I wish I discovered it sooner, because it's fucking brilliant.
Yeah, I know people that read it.
I'm going to send you that Michael Myers story I told you about.
Okay.
It's where he, instead of killing his niece, kidnaps her. And unlike the movies where he gets her pregnant, this time he just wants to raise her. And the reason why he killed all those people is because they stopped him from raising her, or some shit like that. It's actually really good, I promise. And it's better than the movie, surprisingly. And I love the movie. Halloween 4 and 5 are my favorites in the horror genre overall.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's not popular with people, but I think Halloween 4 is better than the original, because I like Jamie, and I think Daniel Harris is such a cute kid. I love Jamie more than Laurie Strode. I never thought her as I never thought Jamie Lee Curtis was attractive. He looked like a guy. I liked the Lori better from the 2007 version, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I just is what it is. The rain is clearing up a little bit. I'm just slightly past 40 stops, so I still got like 40 something left. But time is flying, and you know, I don't feel too bad, Greg.
Hey, that's good.
Yeah, that is pretty good, isn't it?
That is.
I know. But you won't stop fucking reminding me about it. It is good, Greg. In all seriousness, it is good. In your opinion, do you think that Trump is going to win, or at least has a chance?
I think he's got a chance, but I don't know. I go back and forth with it. Right now with everything going on, I don't think he will, but I guess we'll have to see when it gets closer. But as of right now, I don't think he will.
At least you're honest. I hope he will. You know, you said you don't think he will, but you hope he does.
Yeah.
I hope he does, but you might be right. Too much damage might have already been done to his name.
I think with all this indictment and everything right now, once we get past that, maybe we'll have a better idea. But right now, it's just so up in the air.
Greg, if Kamala Harris wins or Joe Biden wins again, that means that Americans just don't care about this country anymore, and it's just going to keep getting worse.
Yeah.
The clouds are beautiful, honestly. Like, they look like tornado clouds.
Oh, okay. I know what you're talking
But
about.
we don't get tornadoes here.
No.
You know, I can't tell you the last time it thundered. It very rarely does. It very rarely does. Correct. Correct. Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
You know, my throat's a little dry. So you'll have to excuse me.
That wasn't bad though.
Usually I drink more water, but it's not my usual truck. Don't have my usual equipment, so I'm just trying to using what I can. I don't know. I'll probably just go to sleep when I get back, you know?
Mm-hmm.
That's probably all I'll do, Greg, to be honest with you. Because, you know, I noticed that ReZero, you know, the fan fiction, because I haven't been able to watch the show yet, but the fan fiction, I've read so much. But over the last 2 weeks, I noticed that I didn't have the same interest that I did. You catch my drift?
Yeah, you gotta be in the mood for it.
You gotta be in a certain kind of mood, and I just realized that I just lose interest. I am losing interest. God, what the fuck? You know, just the way they packed this truck, Greg.
Yeah.
It's just trash. Not like your handwriting, of course, but...
Hey, I'm working on that.
I didn't say your writing, Greg. I said your handwriting.
Oh.
Yeah, but you don't know which one to be offended by.
No, I didn't.
You're like, well, I'm not a writer, so fuck you, sir. You know, the GMC trucks are nice, especially the Duramaxes, but they make them expensive.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny, like, I only recently started liking how the trucks of Chevy look. You know, most of the time, I didn't like how the old ones looked. You know, I'm not a C10 guy, so I don't give a shit.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems like everybody likes the old Broncos and the old C10s. I don't like either of them, nor do I like the new Broncos. They're all shit.
Yeah, I can't get used to the newer Broncos. I mean, they look
just don't
nice,
like
but
how
they're
the
just
The old trucks look. I liked how the old car looks, but
yeah.
I don't like how the new cars look. It's ironic. It's just ironic. Oh shit, man. I got like 45 stops left.
Okay.
But I'll tell you what. Why don't you send me a message to see how this one turned out? I gotta charge my phone, so
Okay.
this is me exiting the call. He can continue to talk if he wants, or he can end the video. It's all good, but I gotta hang out my phone's dying, so I will talk to you later, everybody. Have a good day.
Okay. I'll end it too. All right. Bye. All right, this is Greg. I'm going to be signing out too. So again, thank you all for listening to us, and stay tuned for another video. All have a great rest of the day, and stay safe out there.